The Common Settings screen offers setup of user preferences to the audiometer. To enter the Common Settings screen, hold the Setup button and use either attenuator wheel to highlight common settings. Release the Setup button to enter the settings screen. Once inside this menu, use the right attenuator wheel to choose between the different options listed, and the left attenuator wheel changes the individual settings for each selection. There are different sections to this screen, such as intensity, representation, pulse, etc. The first section to be reviewed is the intensity section. Intensity steps default the startup settings for the decibel step size. Options include 1, 2, or 5 dB. Once this is set and saved, this will be reflected on the dB button on the audiometer. The default level when changing output can be set from off to 50 dB in 5 dB steps. This sets the intensity level for channel 1 when changing the transducer during a test. When off is selected, the decibel level will remain at the last setting before the transducer is changed. Channel 2 start intensity from off to on. This allows the audiometer to have a preset level defined when channel 2 is turned on. This setting is selected from -10 to 50. Channel 2 intensity when changing frequency can be set from off to 10 dB. When off is selected, the channel 2 intensity will remain where it was last left. By choosing any other option, the channel 2 intensity will be set to that level, 0, 5, or 10. Representation has 3 options for selection. The first option is showing the maximum intensities. This will be displayed by a darker shading on the audiogram. When this is unchecked, this darker shading is removed. Showing the maximum intensities is a good reminder to the examiner of the limits of the transducer. There is a safety feature within the audiometer where the maximum intensities can be increased by selecting the extended range button. For more information on the extended range button, review the video Audiometer Keyboard Button Overview or the Instruction for Use manual. Show Masking Cursor allows a visual cursor on the audiogram at the level where the masking is being introduced. This is in addition to the intensity level at the top of the screen. Default Symbols allows other symbol settings to be selected. US symbol setting is the default setting. The Pulse section allows changing the pulse length for the multi and single pulse presentation. Default settings are 200 milliseconds for the multi-pulse and 500 milliseconds for the single pulse lengths. Startup section has one option, Ask for Settings at Startup. This allows for a user profile menu to immediately be available once the audiometer has been turned on and booted up. This option is only necessary when multiple user profiles have been saved within the device. Automatic output selection has 3 options. The first option, Use Insert Masking for Bone, should not be checked. This is a special insert masking transducer that is not a standard accessory with the device or used in the United States. Channel 2 opposite Channel 1 output will allow the audiometer to automatically change the transducer of Channel 2 when Channel 1 is changed. For example, if the examiner changes to the left phone in Channel 1, Channel 2 will be switched to the right. It is important to note that if Channel 2 is set to off, this will not switch the transducer until it has been turned on. The last option is Use HF Phone. This selection defaults the high-frequency phones, or HDA200, to the phone button on the audiometer. This is a convenient setting when an examiner uses the high-frequency phones as the standard headphones throughout the testing process. Once activated, the HF phone function key is highlighted yellow. During the test session, if HF phones are not used, simply selecting the function key can override the setup of the session. Once the session is saved or the audiometer is rebooted, the HF phone setting will return to the setup configuration. The standard section only allows filter mode to be changed. Recommendations for the United States is the linear setting. The last section in Common Setup is Hardware. The first option allows for upgrading a license. This field is only modified when working directly with interacoustics. The display light allows for the LCD screen to be modified to the examiner's preference. The LED light is the light on the audiometer keyboard that can be dimmed. When a printer is connected to the hardware, printer type and printer color mode must be modified for connectivity purpose. Select the printer from the list as well as the printer color mode preferred for printing. The output thresholds in single graph with HF must be checked when printing from the hardware and to display the high frequency results 9,000 to 20,000 Hz. Time field allows the date and time to be set. This is displayed when saving the client session and is included on the printout from the device. Once within the field, use the attenuator wheel to cycle through the selections and press the tone switch to set the selection. The bottom of the screen offers multiple function key selections. These include Client, which allows a list of those saved clients that are within the audiometer. Install function key is used to install firmware, WAV files, or a logo for printout. Language provides a list of languages for selection that converts all text within the LCD screen. Back moves you out of this screen to return to the testing function of the audiometer. And lastly, Save As allows you to save any changes made to the setup screen. When the protocol is saved, the examiner can save within a current user setting or create a new user setting. When making changes to a setup screen, shut off the device and turn it back on for changes to take place.